Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is a term used to describe the mental discomfort or tension that arises when a person holds two or more contradictory beliefs, values, or ideas simultaneously. Imagine you cherish honesty but find yourself lying to cover up a mistake. This conflict between your value, honesty, and your action, lying, creates a sense of unease. This discomfort can lead to various coping mechanisms, such as rationalizing the behavior. It was just a small lie, changing the conflicting belief, maybe honesty isn't that important, or even changing the action, should come clean about the mistake. The concept, introduced by psychologist Leon Festinger in the 1950s, highlights how we strive for internal consistency. When our beliefs and actions clash, we feel compelled to reduce the dissonance by altering our perceptions or behaviors. This drive for harmony impacts decision-making, attitude changes, and even social interactions. The discomfort is not just a nuisance, it is a powerful motivator for personal and cognitive growth, pushing us to resolve inconsistencies and align our actions with our beliefs. Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is the tendency to search for, interpret, and remember information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs or theories while disregarding or minimizing evidence that contradicts them. It's like wearing mental blinders that filter reality to fit our expectations. For instance, if you believe that a particular diet is the best, you might focus on success stories and dismiss studies showing its ineffectiveness. This bias can affect all areas of life, from politics to personal relationships, and even scientific research. It can lead to overconfidence in one's beliefs and contribute to the polarization of opinions. Recognizing and mitigating confirmation bias is crucial for objective thinking and decision-making. It requires actively seeking out and considering opposing viewpoints and being open to changing one's mind in light of new evidence. Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love. Pareidolia. Pareidolia is the psychological phenomenon where people see familiar patterns, such as faces or objects, in random or unrelated stimuli. It's why we might see a face on the moon, animals in clouds, or a man on Mars in a rock formation. This tendency is thought to be an evolutionary trait, providing a survival advantage by helping early humans quickly identify faces and potential threats. While often harmless and even amusing, pareidolia can influence beliefs and perceptions, leading some to see religious figures in toast or UFOs in lights in the sky. It highlights the brain's propensity to find order and meaning in chaos, reflecting our innate desire to make sense of the world around us. Apophenia. Apophenia is the tendency to perceive meaningful connections between unrelated things. Unlike pareidolia, which involves seeing specific visual patterns, apophenia can occur in various contexts, such as seeing connections in random data or attributing significance to coincidences. It is the basis for many superstitions and conspiracy theories, where unrelated events are linked to form a narrative. For example, believing that a lucky charm influences the outcome of a game or that unrelated events are part of a grand conspiracy. While apophenia can lead to creativity and innovation by encouraging pattern recognition, it can also result in erroneous beliefs and decisions when those patterns are imagined rather than real. Barnum Effect. The Barnum Effect is the tendency for people to accept vague, general statements as being personally meaningful. Named after the showman P.T. Barnum, this effect explains why horoscopes, fortune-telling, and personality tests can feel so accurate. These statements are crafted to be broad and ambiguous, allowing individuals to interpret them in a way that fits their own experiences and beliefs. For example, a horoscope might say, "You have a need for others to like and admire you," which applies to almost everyone. This effect demonstrates how our minds seek validation and meaning, often leading us to see specificity in generalities. Recognizing the Barnum effect is essential for critical thinking and avoiding the trap of believing in pseudoscientific claims. Déjà Vu. Déjà vu is the eerie feeling that you have experienced a situation before, even though you know you haven't. The term means already seen in French. This sensation can be fleeting and often leaves you questioning your memory. Neurologists suggest that déjà vu might occur when there's a slight delay in the brain's processing of sensory information, causing a momentary glitch that makes the present feel like a past memory. Another theory is that it results from the brain's overlapping of similar experiences, creating a false sense of familiarity. While usually benign, frequent déjà vu can sometimes be associated with certain neurological conditions, like epilepsy. It underscores the complexity of memory and perception, reminding us that our experience of reality is not always as straightforward as it seems. Jamais vu, translating to never seen, is the opposite of déjà vu. It's the sensation that something familiar is being encountered for the first time. For instance, you might suddenly feel that a word you use daily looks strange and unfamiliar. This phenomenon can be unsettling and is often described as a feeling of unfamiliarity with a known situation. Jamais vu can occur when the brain becomes temporarily disconnected from the usual processing of familiar information, leading to a sense of alienation or strangeness. It highlights the brain's role in creating a seamless experience of reality and how easily this can be disrupted. Capgras Delusion. The Capgras Delusion is a rare condition where a person believes that a loved one has been replaced by an imposter. Named after the French psychiatrist Joseph Capgras, this delusion often occurs in individuals with neurodegenerative diseases, brain injuries, or psychiatric disorders. The person may recognize the physical appearance of their loved one but feels an emotional disconnect, leading them to conclude that the person is an imposter. This delusion underscores the complexity of facial recognition and emotional processing in the brain. It can be distressing for both the individual experiencing the delusion and their loved ones, often requiring a combination of medical treatment and psychological support. Fregoli Delusion. The Fregoli Delusion is the belief that different people are in fact a single person who changes appearance or is in disguise. Named after the Italian actor Leopoldo Fregoli, known for his rapid costume changes, this delusion is rare and often associated with conditions affecting the brain, such as schizophrenia or brain injury. The person experiencing this delusion might believe that they are being persecuted or followed by someone who changes their appearance to avoid detection. This delusion highlights the brain's role in identity recognition and how its malfunction can lead to profound distortions of reality. It often requires a combination of antipsychotic medication and therapy to manage. Prosopagnosia. Prosopagnosia, also known as face blindness, is the inability to recognize faces. This condition can be congenital, present from birth, or acquired due to brain injury or neurological illness. People with prosopagnosia rely on other cues, such as voice, clothing, or unique physical attributes, to identify individuals. The condition can range from difficulty recognizing familiar faces to an inability to recognize one's own face in the mirror. The underlying cause is typically linked to damage or dysfunction in the fusiform gyrus, a part of the brain involved in facial recognition. Prosopagnosia underscores the complexity of visual processing and the specialized nature of facial recognition in the brain. Synesthesia. Synesthesia is a condition where stimulation of one sensory pathway leads to automatic, involuntary experiences in a second sensory pathway. For example, someone with synesthesia might see colors when they hear music or taste flavors when they read words. This cross-wiring of the senses can vary greatly among individuals. Some might see specific colors when hearing certain notes, while others might associate numbers with particular textures. The phenomenon often runs in families, suggesting a genetic component. Synesthesia provides profound insights into the brain's interconnectedness and how sensory information is processed. It also highlights the subjectivity of perception, showing that our experience of the world can differ dramatically from one person to another. Misophonia. Misophonia is a condition where certain sounds trigger intense emotional reactions, such as anger, anxiety, or disgust. Common triggers include chewing, breathing, or tapping noises. This condition is more than just disliking certain sounds, it can significantly interfere with a person's daily life and relationships. The exact cause of misophonia is not well understood, but it may involve abnormal connections between the auditory system and the limbic system, which processes emotions. Recognizing and managing misophonia often requires a multidisciplinary approach, including sound therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, and lifestyle adjustments to avoid triggers. Phantom limb. Phantom limb is the sensation that an amputated or missing limb is still attached and moving. Individuals with this condition often feel pain, itching, or other sensations in the limb that is no longer there. This phenomenon occurs because the brain's neural network still holds a map of the missing limb. The brain continues to receive signals from the nerves that originally served the amputated body part. Treatments for phantom limb pain include mirror therapy, medication, and neuromodulation techniques. Understanding phantom limb sheds light on the brain's plasticity and how it continues to interpret sensory data even after the source has been removed. Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological condition where hostages develop a bond or emotional attachment with their captors. This paradoxical reaction can occur in situations of extreme stress and dependency, where the captive begins to identify with the captor as a coping mechanism. The term originated from a bank robbery in Stockholm, Sweden, in 1973, where hostages defended their captors after being released. This syndrome illustrates the complexity of human psychology and survival instincts, showing how people can adapt to traumatic situations by forming unlikely alliances. Treatment often involves therapy to address the trauma and help the individual reframe their experiences. Placebo Effect. The placebo effect is the phenomenon where a person experiences a beneficial effect from a treatment that has no therapeutic efficacy. This effect occurs because the individual believes the treatment is real and expects it to work, which can trigger physiological changes in the body. The placebo effect highlights the power of the mind-body connection and the role of expectations in healing. It is a significant factor in clinical trials, where placebos are often used to test the efficacy of new treatments. Understanding the placebo effect emphasizes the importance of psychological factors in medical treatment and patient care. Nocebo Effect. The nocebo effect is the phenomenon where negative expectations of a treatment cause harmful effects. It is the opposite of the placebo effect. For example, if a person believes that a medication will cause side effects, they may experience those side effects even if the medication is inert. The nocebo effect demonstrates how negative thinking and expectations can impact health and well-being. It underscores the importance of communication and the power of suggestion in medical practice. Being aware of the nocebo effect can help healthcare providers manage patient expectations and improve treatment outcomes. Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon. The Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon, also known as the frequency illusion, is the illusion in which something that has recently come to your attention suddenly seems to appear with improbable frequency. For instance, after learning a new word, you start noticing it everywhere. This phenomenon occurs due to two cognitive biases: selective attention, where you notice things that are salient to you, and confirmation bias, where you remember those things more because they confirm your expectations. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon reveals how our perceptions can be skewed by recent experiences and highlights the brain's tendency to find patterns and make connections. Zeigarnik Effect. The Zeigarnik Effect is the tendency to remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks better than completed ones. Named after the psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik, who first observed this phenomenon, it suggests that unfinished tasks create a kind of mental tension that keeps them active in memory until they are completed. This effect can influence productivity and motivation, as the desire to complete a task can drive one to keep working on it. Understanding the Zeigarnik effect can be useful for managing tasks and improving focus, as it suggests breaking larger tasks into smaller, manageable parts to maintain momentum and reduce mental load. Bystander Effect. The bystander effect is the phenomenon where individuals are less likely to offer help to a victim when other people are present. This effect is influenced by a diffusion of responsibility, where each person assumes someone else will take action, and social influence, where people look to others for cues on how to behave. Famous cases, such as the murder of Kitty Genovese in 1964, have highlighted the bystander effect and its implications for social behavior. Understanding this effect is crucial for promoting proactive intervention in emergencies and fostering a sense of individual responsibility in group settings. Locus of Control. Locus of control refers to the degree to which people believe they have control over the outcome of events in their lives, as opposed to external forces. People with an internal locus of control believe they can influence their destiny through their actions and decisions. In contrast, those with an external locus of control feel that external factors, such as fate or luck, dictate their lives. This concept, introduced by psychologist Julian Rotter, plays a significant role in motivation, behavior, and overall mental health. An internal locus of control is often associated with better stress management, higher achievement, and greater life satisfaction, as individuals feel empowered to effect change in their lives.